the UAE.
Right, time for us to have a little look and see what's happening on the real estate market out there. We have talked about momentum. We've talked about continued demand across the board, be that off-plan, on-plan, turnkey, be that commercial, residential or otherwise. But I want to focus on something that is synonymous with Dubai, and that's villas. Dubai's integrated villa communities are experiencing an unprecedented demand surge. Why? Families, well, prioritising a number of different things: school proximity, sports facilities, and affordable space. So let's get more on this from someone very much in the know. Associate Director at House Hunters Real Estate, Alannah Cope's been kind enough to join us live in the studio. Alannah, really appreciate your time. Happy Monday. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, busy times for you and the entire industry, and none more so than the team down at House Hunters Real Estate. A busy start to the year for you and the team?
Yeah, absolutely. We are off to an unbelievable start to the year. I think everyone has woken up at the start of January and got their checkbooks out, and we are seeing lots of deals on the board. So it's been really, really good.
One thing that we've seen in recent times is this demand for communities. Look, the demand for villas has always been there, but now this demand for communities, or rather integrated communities. What is an integrated community?
An integrated community, I think you would see a variety of different properties available. So we have townhouses, we have villas. I mean, some of the master developments now, the likes of Dubai Hills, you've got apartments and, residential buildings available as well. And then obviously within the community, you've got schools, you have shopping facilities, restaurants, cafes. It's a fully serviced, established community where the residents don't actually have to leave, and everything they can find is on their doorstep.
And is it your understanding that that's what buyers want at the moment? Obviously, traffic's busy, we know that. It's more difficult getting from A to B. Do people want stuff easily accessible and on their doorstep?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the trend is moving towards people, planting their roots and actually securing homes for the long term. And they want to live in communities where they don't actually have to leave. Obviously, they've got the school commute, they've got the work commute, but in their free time, they want to spend their time, within the communities that they're actually living in.
And there are no shortage of communities. We probably could do with some more, given the sort of demand and supply model out there at the moment. But to your mind, and again, looking at the data that you and the team at House Hunters have got at present, which communities are doing it right at the moment? Which one are top of people's shopping lists?
I mean, look, at the end of the day, we've got a lot of well-known communities across Dubai, the likes of the Ranches, the likes of Meadows, Jumeirah Golf Estates. But I feel like a community that is probably up and coming at the moment, which I would like to draw people's attention to, is within the area of Al Farjan. So within Al Farjan, we've got two newer communities known as Marouj and as well as Talal Al Farjan. So in terms of location, this is located just off Sheikh Zayed Road, and it's probably about a 15 to 20-minute drive to Palm Jumeirah. So if you're looking for something that offers, space, modern finishes, fantastic amenities like resort-style pools and sports facilities, but something that's a little bit more budget-friendly, these are a really, really good communities to look into, because you've got villas that are spanning from 3,500 square foot all the way up to 5,000 square foot, but actually they offer a price tag that's about 30% cheaper to the neighbouring communities such as the Meadows.
And that's an interesting one. I'm glad you sort of brought it back to the money element there, because I suppose, yes, a lot of people are looking for convenience. A lot of convenience comes at a price at the moment. But, a lot of these villa projects and a lot of villas would be a significant outlay of cash, etc. So a lot of people are looking at capital appreciation. Or are they? I mean, is it a market where people are looking for opportunities for appreciation, or is it rather just capital preservation at the moment?
I think it depends what type of investor or what type of buyer you are. Obviously, we have investors who are seasoned, and they're experienced. They've been investing in Dubai, for the last 20 years. And then we have a lot of first-time buyers. So if you're looking for appreciation and that's your main goal, I would suggest that, one of the strongest strategies to gain capital appreciation is actually to purchase into a community that is maybe 12 or 18 months off handover. So this way, you're going to be entering the market at a competitive price point. And when those properties are actually delivered, the prices will mature as the communities start to become complete and people actually move in. If you're purchasing a property 12 to 18 months prior to handover and then rent it out on handover, you could be looking at yields of 8 to 9%. In terms of preservation, I feel like we have a lot of owners that, have owned properties in the maybe more well-known or well-established communities like the ranches or the meadows, and they are sitting on highly, highly sought-after assets, which will, of course, maintain and, continue to appreciate. Maybe not at, such a rapid rate as the newer communities, but they will definitely maintain their value.
What's changed, Alannah? I mean, you bring extraordinary experience of the market to the table this morning, as does you and the team at House Hunters Real Estate. What's changed in the villa market in terms of who's buying and who's moving in? Why have we got this issue at the moment of supply and demand?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that we've seen change over the last couple of years, well, I can say I was actually grown up in Dubai, okay? I was born and raised here, 29 years here. I think the families and the people that relocated maybe, let's say, 20 years ago, they relocated with the idea that this was going to be a short-term stay, maybe 3 or 5 years. They gave it a go, okay? However, fast forward today, the market has changed significantly and people are, moving here and they have the mindset that this is going to be a long-term, venture, or it's going to be, forever. Okay. So people are looking for communities that are going to, sustain their lifestyles and, they can actually plant roots for the future, not just a short-term stay, really.
And to that end, and a lot of people, with fewer opportunities out there at the moment, a lot of off-plan opportunities down the line, what is your sort of advice to families that are relocating and moving here at the moment when it comes to making a decision, especially for something like a villa, which could well be a forever home for many years to come?
So this is where the value proposition comes into play. And it, at the end of the day, it is a personal preference. We're seeing a lot of buyers weigh up the argument of, do we go for an older villa with spacious layouts and generous plot sizes, or do we go and move into a brand new community that has modern amenities, and modern finishes? At the end of the day, you need to work out what, you need from that villa. If you're new to Dubai, maybe, the challenge of taking on a renovation project or moving into an older community is too big for you at the moment. I feel like what I always say to my buyers is if you have the money and there is a property that suits your requirements, just, take the plunge and, buy the property, because at the end of the day, once you're on that ladder, it puts you in a really, really good position to leverage that and make a decision to move on.
Alannah, can't thank you enough. Really appreciate your time this morning. Thanks so much indeed for your insight. And loads of questions coming in with regards to all things villas. We will address those and point them towards House Hunters Real Estate. Alannah Cope, their Associate Director. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.